Welcome to the So You Missed Church podcast. We are happy to have you here with us today. Happy Monday to you. This is Clint Daly, and I'm hoping that if you missed church this week, or maybe you couldn't go, maybe you just didn't want to go, and you really didn't miss it that much, that we can still help you get your week started in a positive way. Got a story for you today. There was a woman who married a man who never thought of anyone but himself. His favorite thing to do every day was to complain about his wife to anyone who would listen and to talk only about himself and all that he had accomplished. One day he went out to work the fields with a mule, and he started bragging about himself and complaining about his wife to the mule. And the mule was so annoyed by this vile man that it kicked him off his plow and kicked the man to death. So at the funeral, the rest of the small village lined up to give their best regards to the widow. And as they would walk through in a line, she would nod her head to all the men that spoke to her, but she would shake her head no to all the women. And afterwards, the local priest spoke to her. And he said, I noticed as people were walking through the line that you would nod your head yes to the men, but you would shake your head no to the women. And the widow replied, yeah. The men all gave their condolences. So I just nodded my head yes to say thank you politely. And the priest said, well, what did the women say? And she said, well, the women all asked if the mule was for sale. Now today I want to talk about a subject that is just a tad uncomfortable. But I believe it is actually the single toughest battle that humankind faces on a day-to-day basis, and I'm not exaggerating. But how could it not? Because we are bludgeoned over the head with it every single day. Think about it. How often are you told, hey, life is about me. I deserve a break. I'm worth it. I deserve to live the life of luxury. I saw a commercial for Subway or something. And it said, we are now hiring superstars. Now look, there's nothing wrong whatsoever with working at Subway. We have all worked those entry-level jobs. But we might be playing pretty fast and loose with the word superstar. I mean, there are cartoons feeding our kids that no matter what they do, they are awesome. But if everyone is awesome, then no one is actually awesome. And look, I understand it. We are currently in a generation that has been fed over and over and over that we need to build our self-esteem. Hey, we can't have low self-esteem. Okay, well, I would say mission accomplished. We have reached our capacity. Our self-esteem is full. Now, we might actually need to scale it back a little bit because selfishness is at an all-time high, but accountability is at an all-time low. Look, you can try to tell me that when a kid takes a swing at a cop or a teacher, it is because they have low self-esteem. I would argue that their self-esteem is actually far too high. But this isn't just a kid problem. I mean, the adults are just as bad. We've got road rage, we've got our social media, and we have just our general rudeness to people because look, you're not that important. I am the most important person in my life. I mean, think back to an impactful event like the COVID global pandemic. And during that, we saw some people kind of separate into different groups, didn't we? Like we saw different camps. We saw some people say, if I get COVID, I get it. I don't care. I'll fight it, whatever. We saw other people say, I have some health concerns, so I need to be extra careful. We saw others say, based on the data that's coming out, it seems like I'm probably going to be fine. I'm young, or I'm primarily a healthy person, so I think I'll be all right. But then we saw one other group of people, and they all had the same mentality. And it's kind of how they go through life. And their reaction was, hey, if this virus is going to kill anyone, it's going to be me. Well, why? Are you a person with a lot of health problems or something? No, but trust me, if it's going to get anybody, it's going to get me. Now look, a lot of us had moms that told us we were special, right? And so we continue to think that we are truly special and maybe just a little bit better than everyone else. And so if something bad is going to happen, well, who else would it happen to? It's going to happen to me. So today, let's go to the Apostle Paul's book to the Church of Rome, where he wrote to the Romans in chapter 12, and he says this: "For by the grace given to me, I say to everyone among you, not to think of yourself more highly than you ought to think, but to think with sober judgment, each according to the measure of faith that God has assigned." Hey, having a strong, healthy self-esteem, no, that's fine, that's good. But we still have to be aware that the biggest atrocities in humankind have come from some form of narcissism. And it is no coincidence that God tells us, hey, love your neighbors. Put other people in front of you. Don't always make it about yourself. Don't think of yourself more highly than you ought to, because our most basic instincts as a human are always going to be self-serving. All roads are going to lead to narcissism. And it is something that we have to guard against every single day. Now, you might sit there and say, well, I'm not a narcissist. I don't do those things. Hey, you want to improve your relationships with your family, with your friends, with your spouses, with your kids, with your loved ones, with your coworkers, or even with God himself? Check your narcissism at the door and watch how much just that one simple act will change your relationships. Hey, remember, you can always contact us at youmisschurch@gmail.com. Feel free to reach out to us. We would love to hear what you have to say. You can always follow us over on Facebook or X at YouMissChurch, and you can subscribe to the podcast pretty much anywhere podcasts are hosted, or you can just follow us over on YouTube. Hey, I want to wish you all a very happy Monday, and I hope that you have a great week.